It's that time of the week again. Thank you for tuning in to this brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcast here on the 8th of February, 2023. I am your host, SlimmDa KID. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. For those of you who have never heard Round 2 Wrestling, Round 2 Wrestling is very similar to a news broadcast. We have it broken down into simple, easy to digest segments, starting things off with the rumor mill. That is the what ifs and the maybes going on in the world of professional wrestling. We will then skip with the question marks and go over to something a bit more real, and we will talk about pro wrestling news. Our third segment, our title matches, and those who retained and those who are new champions in the world of professional wrestling. We close out Round 2 Wrestling with a fan and producer favorite, Did You Know Wrestling Facts. This week's particular podcast goes a little bit long, and we had to cut out the very last portion of Round 2 Wrestling. So no wrestling facts on Round 2 Wrestling this week. We will double up on the facts for next week's Round 2 Wrestling podcast. So with the formalities and the format out in front, let's get ready for the rumor mill here on Round 2 Wrestling. Okay. Per Fightful Select, Brock Lesnar got some heat for his actions at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, going rogue after his elimination and upsetting some in the back. This is Brock Lesnar we're talking about, so no particular punishment was handed out. This comes as no surprise when you're one of the top faces or stars in the industry, especially in wrestling. You can get away with almost anything and everything. Going off script really isn't that big of a deal. It just doesn't happen very often. But again, when you're a top tier talent like Brock Lesnar, you can do such things and get away with them. Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer reports Triple H, aka Paul Levesque, does not see fellow wrestler Sami Zayn as a WrestleMania main event or a face of WWE. For those of you who don't watch WWE or maybe don't follow the news very closely, Sami Zayn has increased in popularity over the last year, half a year or so. He is being pushed as a possible contender against Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal title at this month's pay-per-view. But nothing has really been said, confirmed, denied, or anything. This is sort of sad that Sami Zayn isn't considered one of the top talents in the industry. And even sadder to hear Paul Levesque, your boss, tell you basically you're a piece of shit and you won't amount to anything worthwhile. Just be happy with what you have gotten. Bloomberg reports AEW is considering a streaming service through its broadcast partner Warner Bros. Discovery. Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer went a little bit further on this particular rumor and said that it is just that. This is one hardcore rumor that just won't go away. Supposedly AEW has been shopping for a streaming service or some sort of home for Ring of Honor since like mid-July last year, and nothing has really come to the surface. Nobody has jumped forward and said that we are willing to put AEW on our streaming service, and no particular network has also stepped forward and said we are interested in putting a weekly Ring of Honor product on our network. Again, this is a rumor, and Dave Meltzer is not the god of professional wrestling. He is just a writer with an opinion, and he does have some insider information. But this is the rumor mill. You have to take every single one of these rumors with a grain of salt. Per Tokyo Sports, Keiji Muto suffered hamstring tears in both his legs during his final match in Japan. According to Fightful Select, Ring of Honor will begin taping their weekly show at the end of February. This sort of ties into the Bloomberg report that says AEW is considering a streaming service. Ring of Honor would, of course, be a part of AEW. And AEW has signed specific wrestlers for Ring of Honor. So this would be a much-needed step forward. But again, this is the rumor mill. It may or may not happen. Tokyo Sports reports Rizin promoter Nobuki Sakibara is trying to book Ibushi versus Pacquiao, a wrestler versus boxer card. This has been done before with the likes of Muhammad Ali, and it has mixed results. We will keep our ear to the scanner for this particular rumor. Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, changed her Instagram bio, leading to speculation that she will not be returning to WWE. Naomi is one of two females that walked out on WWE last year, her partner in crime being Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks has flipped over her career and made a name for herself in the last couple of months, but relatively little has been said about Trinity Fatu. Hopefully somebody, MLW or another promotion, will jump on the opportunity and sign her before somebody else does. Pepsi's Mountain Dew Pitch Black match at the Royal Rumble was a $1 million deal, quote-unquote, according to Dave Meltzer. If you watch this particular match, it is a god-awful piece of shit of wrestling, if I ever did see one. And again, that is just SlimmDa KID's personal opinion. Booker T said on his podcast that his appearance at the Royal Rumble will likely be the last time he wrestles in his career. Plenty of things to think about and mull over for the next week. Juicy rumors coming forward this particular week. However, we are done with the maybes and the what ifs, and we are going to move on to the second portion of Round 2 Wrestling. This is Pro Wrestling News. You gotta love the bell. Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling are teaming up for a joint pay-per-view. Multiverse United, Only the Strong Survive, will take place on Thursday, March 30th, 2023. Several matches have already been announced. Check it out online for more information. WWE legend and Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler suffered an apparent stroke on Monday and was rushed to the hospital. Lawler is expected to make a full recovery. Former WWE and MLW wrestler E.J. Naduka made his AEW debut last night on AEW Dark. You can check this particular episode out on YouTube. Wrestler Taya Valkyrie is a working AAA Mexico, MLW, NWA, and Impact wrestler holding multiple titles across several promotions, one of the hottest female free agents in the industry at this point in time. Valkyrie, however, is considering a more permanent home promotion. New Japan Pro Wrestling and Mexico's CMLL promotion announced the full card for the 2023 Fantastic Mania Festival. This 6-day wrestling event will be held February 22nd through the 28th at various venues in Japan. New Japan Pro Wrestling is expanding their influence in the wrestling world, particularly here in the United States, announcing the LA Dojo will be starting a New Japan Pro Wrestling Academy for those wishing to break into pro wrestling. There is a beginner's course and an advanced course. Check out New Japan Pro Wrestling Academy for more information. MLW announces the signing of free agent Akira to their roster ahead of the debut of MLW Underground, MLW's weekly show on Axis. All right, enough of the pro wrestling news. We are going to jump right over to the final portion of Round 2 Wrestling, the long and glorious title matches. All right. WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair defeated Sonya Deville to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. NXT North American Champion Wes Lee defeated Dijak to retain the North American Championship. Fallon Henley and Kiana James defeated NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Katana Chance and Kaden Carter to become the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Gallus defeated Pretty Deadly, Chase U, and NXT Tag Team Champions New Day to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez defeated Jace Jane and Gigi Dolan to retain the NXT Women's Championship. NXT World Champion Braun Breaker defeated Grayson Waller to retain the NXT World Championship. AEW TBS Champion Jade Cargill defeated Red Velvet to retain the AEW TBS title. Samoa Joe defeated AEW TNT Champion Darby Allin to become the new AEW TNT Champion. AEW Trios Champions The Elite defeated The Firm to retain the AEW Trios Championships. MLW National Openweight Champion John Hennigan defeated Willie Mack to retain the MLW Openweight Championship. MLW World Champion Alex Hammerstone defeated Jacob Fatu to retain the MLW World Championship. MLW Middleweight Champion Lince Dorado defeated Delirious to retain the MLW Middleweight Championship. MLW Tag Team Champions the Samoan SWAT Team defeated the Main Event to retain the MLW Tag Team titles. MLW Featherweight Champion Taya Valkyrie defeated Billy Starks to retain the MLW Featherweight Championship. MLW World Champion Alex Hammerstone defeated EJ Naduka to retain the MLW World Championship. NWA TV Champion Jordan Clearwater defeated Black G's to retain the NWA TV title. Alright, that is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling this week. Again, we apologize for not having enough time for all those Round 2 Wrestling Did You Know Wrestling facts. Be sure to tune in next week where we will double up on that and give you more facts than you could possibly handle. Once again, I am SlimmDa KID, and I personally want to thank you for tuning into this particular podcast. Be sure to tune in next week when I bring you more news, more rumors, and more results from the world of professional wrestling. Are you in Southeast Michigan this Friday, February 10th? Be sure to check out Combat One Wrestling in Waterford, Michigan. Combat One Wrestling is Michigan's hottest new independent promotion, broadcasting every other month live from the Waterford Sportsplex in Waterford, Michigan. Once again, I am SlimmDa KID. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Round 2 Wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.